Live from the Mountain View Studios in Lawrence, Kansas, it's In the House with Eric Hastert. Starring your commissioner, Eric Hastert. And now your host, Eric Hastert.
What's up, everybody? It's time for a quickie with me, Eric Hastert, best commissioner ever. Well, I think week 10 is over. Moving on to week 11. This is actually the last week for buys in the NFL. So if you got players on bye this week, I know I do, this is the last time you're going to have to deal with it. You know what? We're going to make it a quickie. I'm not going to worry about breaking down last week's games. We all know what happened. I had the top score for the second week in a row by a lot. I think it was like 148, and that's all that really matters. Okay, that's all that really matters. My team's finally coming around, and then they all go on by against Brian. I'm going on a hunting trip this week, so I don't really have time to do anything extravagant. I don't really have time to fucking pleasure all you douchebags out there, but we're going to break down next week's games. We're going to see where everyone stands, and we're getting really close to playoffs. 3 games left. Anything can really happen in this league, especially how shitty everyone is this year. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. No clowning around. First up, we got the undefeated Brady Roberts, 10-0. Good job, Brady. No one really likes you. And he's playing Caleb Denton. Right now, the game is projected 115 to 108 in Brady's favor. I'm really surprised Caleb is projected over 100 points. I mean, it's pretty crazy. For Brady, you got a lot of good matchups on your end, but a couple of bad ones. Carson Wentz versus Dallas. I think he's going to have a good game here. Dallas hasn't played the pass very well this season. Mark Ingram is going to have an okay game versus Washington because Kamara's taking some time. And Washington's run defense actually is pretty good. We got Le'Veon Bell versus Tennessee. I think Le'Veon Bell actually has a really big game here. And then Devontae Adams and Adam Thielen. 2 bad matchups. Adams plays Baltimore. Thielen plays the Rams. 2 good secondaries. I think those two have a slump of a game. For Caleb, Drew Brees is going against Washington, and we know Washington's secondary is pretty damn good, especially when they're healthy. So I think Brees here, not a very good day for New Orleans offensively. Chris Thompson playing against New Orleans, and we know New Orleans' defense is top tier right now, so I think Chris Thompson has a shitty game. Lamar Miller going to have a shitty game against Arizona. We all know Arizona has a great run defense as well. But I think your receivers are all 3 going to have a great game. You got Amari Cooper versus New England, and we all know how terrible their fucking defense is. We have Alshon Jeffrey versus Dallas. We already said Wentz is going to have a good game, and I think Alshon Jeffrey will be on the receiving end of that. And then Sterling Shepard. I think he has a good game here because the Chiefs' secondary has been slacking. I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose this game, but because they don't have any wide receivers and for the Giants, I think Sterling Shepard's going to have like 10 catches. But overall, I think Caleb's going to take this one. I think he's going to knock Brady off. Why? Just because Caleb would get lucky like that. He would. And Brady would get his first loss against Caleb. Next up, we got Mitch versus Dylan. Right now, it's projected 99 to 114 in Dylan's favor. I don't know if it's going to go that way. We will see. For Mitch, Matthew Stafford, I don't think he's going to have a good game here in Chicago. He's playing outside in the cold. He's using the indoors because he's got that luxury stadium in Detroit that no one goes to. And I just don't see him doing very well outside. Alex Collins, he's going to have an okay game against Green Bay. Green Bay is not the best defense in the world. We'll see there. Jamal Williams, good pickup, Mitch. If Montgomery doesn't play, Jamal Williams is in for a big day here against Baltimore. Their run defense has struggled in previous weeks. As for Kelvin Benjamin, he's going to have a shitty game here against the Chargers. Why? Because the Bills benched Tyrod Taylor, and the backup is starting. I remembered his name this morning, but now I don't remember his fucking name. That's how bad he is. We'll see what happens there in Buffalo. Julio, I think he struggles against Seattle, and Tyreek Hill going to have a big day against that Giants secondary that is allowing like the third most points to receivers in the league right now. For Dylan, I think Wilson's going to have an average game against Atlanta, nothing big. I think Atlanta's defense is playing pretty decent right now. LaShawn McCoy against the Chargers. I want that all day. The Chargers fucking stopping the run. Kareem Hunt fucking had 25 points against them last time the Chiefs played the Chargers. Ajayi, we'll see how he does against Dallas. Dallas shut down Kareem Hunt last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't see a huge game here out of Ajayi because it's Jay Ajayi and he fucks his owners over. Michael Thomas plays against Washington, as we already talked about. Washington's secondary is good. I think Thomas has a bad game, but I think Gronk is going to have another decent week here against Oakland because Oakland sucks. I'm taking Dylan in this one. Moving on to 6 and 5. And now we got Simon versus Hack. Is there really much to say about this fucking game? For Simon, Dak, he's playing Philly. I think he has a down week this week. Why? Because they have no Zeke. So all they have to do is stop the pass, and they're going to win. The Eagles' defense is playing rock solid right now. So Dak Prescott, unless he gets on his feet and runs the ball, I don't think he's going to have that very, very good of a game. Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman's most likely not going to play, so Tevin Coleman moves up in the lineup as the starter, but he plays Seattle, and we all know how good Seattle's run defense is. I think he has an okay game here because of the passes that he's probably going to catch. So I think he's a few receptions for some good yardage here. What is that noise? Okay, next up, our Kareem Hunt against the Giants. I think he has a great game here for Simon. I think Hunt finally gets back in the end zone, gets the taste of glory again, and has his bounce back. Antonio Brown, going to have a good game against Tennessee. If he doesn't, well then it's not looking good for Brown the rest of the season. Juju may be taking all of his fucking catches. And A.J. Green playing Denver. We all know how good Denver is, but has been bad as of late. I still think A.J. Green won't do that well because of the pass rush of the Denver Broncos. And we all know your MVP, Greg Zerlin, is going to have a great game at Minnesota. For Hack, keys to victory here. Big Ben might actually have a good game playing Tennessee. Not a good defense. Mike Gillislee probably not going to play. He was benched last week as a healthy scratch because he sucks. Thank you for taking him off my hands. You better find someone to replace him. You also don't have a running back in your running back slot right now. You kind of need to fill out your lineup if you want to win games. Crabtree, going to have a great game against New England. I think that's going to be a shootout. And last but not least, Jimmy Graham, going to have an okay game against Atlanta. I'm taking Simon in this one. It's a no-brainer. Hack is terrible. All right, Dustin versus A-Ray. I think it's going to be closer than it's projected. Right now it's 88 to 109. Dustin also isn't starting a defense right now. I'm sure he will replace that. For Dustin, your keys to victory. Mike Evans playing Miami. Going to have a big game there. Brandon Cooks playing Oakland. I think, once again, that's going to be a shootout. I think Brandon Cooks is going to have a good game. Matt Ryan, though, playing Seattle. Seattle's going to be without Richard Sherman. I still think Matt Ryan struggles here against Seattle because Seattle's way better than Matt Ryan is. DeMarco Murray versus Pittsburgh. I think Murray is actually going to struggle pretty hard in this game. He hasn't been running very well. Yeah, he did get 30 last week, but that's because he got 3 touchdowns on like 20 yards. So, I don't know. I'll take the he's going to get about 20 yards and no touchdowns. And last but not least, I think Delaney Walker actually has a pretty good game here against Pittsburgh. They're shutting down the receivers, but they hurt against the tight end. And for A-Ray, Tom Brady playing Oakland. Going to tear him up because Oakland sucks. Jordan Howard against Detroit. I think he could struggle here. The Lions defense is playing pretty well. Devontae Freeman, he's out. You got to find a replacement for him. He was a pretty big part of your lineup. Demaryius Thomas, gonna struggle. Why? Because he plays Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's got a good defense. I think Emmanuel Sanders also gets a lot of the catches in this game. Jarvis Landry, though, plays Tampa Bay, who sucks. I think Jarvis Landry has a good game here. All in all, I'm going to have to side with Dustin in this one. I think Dustin takes it in the end. I think Mike Evans has about 30 points against Miami. That is, if Fitzpatrick can throw the ball. And last but not least, the Battle of the Hastards. Me versus my brother Brian. This is a big game. Big game. Ryan loses a game, he's further and further away from playoffs. I win the game, I'm getting closer and closer to playoffs, baby. For me, I picked up Marcus Mariota this week. Everyone's like, oh, he plays Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's playing good. Actually, no. Stafford went off for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jacoby Brissett went up for, I guess not went off, but he had 250 and 2 touchdowns against Pittsburgh. I think Mariota here, with his legs and his arm, gets me a good 20 points, which is all I'm asking for with Cam Newton on bye. I think Alvin Kamara has an average day against Washington, kind of like Ingram's going to. But the pickup of the week, we'll see. Rex Burkhead against Oakland, going to be a shootout. Tom Brady likes to throw it to Burkhead a lot. We saw that last week, and we all know Bill Belichick favors the white man. He is a bad dude. And also Emmanuel Sanders playing Cincinnati. Like I said, I think he's going to get most of the targets in this game. Brock Osweiler likes to throw him the ball. Stephon Diggs playing the Rams, going to struggle, but he did play a tough defense last week. Ended up with 15 points. You never know. Doug Baldwin, though, going to have another good week here at Atlanta. For Brian, Kirk Cousins plays Washington. Not a good matchup for him. They got a great secondary. They're playing good. Or, what the fuck? Not Washington, New Orleans. Jesus. He plays New Orleans, and New Orleans defense is on top right now. Todd Gurley against Minnesota. One of the best run defenses in the league. I think it actually is the best run defense. So I think Goff is going to have to throw the ball in this game. Gurley might be getting benched because they're going to have to throw it a lot. And Melvin Gordon plays Buffalo. Not a good matchup for Melvin Gordon here. And Austin Eckler might be taking some time away from Gordon as good as he's been playing. That's going to struggle for you. Juju, though, I think Juju Smith-Schuster against Tennessee is going to have a great game this week. I know, I don't want him to, but he probably will. Golden Tate, I think he's going to struggle just like Matt Stafford's going to struggle. And DeAndre Hopkins going to be shadowed by Patrick Peterson this week. Patrick Peterson, being one of the best corners in the league, is going to shut his ass down, and Tom Savage. And Arizona defense, for me, is going to take out the Texans. I got to take myself in this one because I need to win. I have to win. If I don't win, it's probably good riddance for me. As it stands, we got Brady at 10-0, A-Ray at 6-4. You still need that win. You're on a 2-loss streak right now. You need that win to solidify that playoff spot, but it's not looking good for you right now. And at 5-5, we have Brian, Simon, Dylan, and Dustin. Right in there, it could go either way for any of those teams. You lose 2, you lose 3, you're out. You win 2, you win 3, you're in. We don't know what's going to happen. Mitch and Caleb are sitting at 4-6, and me and Hacker at 3-7. Bringing up the bottom. Woo! Okay, I have to win. That's all that matters. Caleb, you suck. We all know that. Brady, you get lucky. Simon, fuck you, bro. Everyone else, I hope you all lose. I know that's not possible. I'm going hunting. I probably won't have service this weekend, so don't text me. Don't think that I'm going to respond to any GroupMe stuff. Don't think that I'm going to check my scores, because I won't. I won't even know if I win until I come back to civilization. Hopefully I win. Catch you on the flippity flop. Dilly dilly.